Hey, you can get Law & Order on the go on your phone. Sign up for mobile alerts, play the mobile betrayal game, and find out more. Only at NBC.com.
I'm Nicole Marks. Next on News 6 at 10, a renewed search for Stacy Peterson, where police are looking and why. Do face masks really protect against swine flu? And a police raid and charges of contaminated suburban water. Join Matt and I next at 10.
Now, in high definition, this is News 6 at 10.
We expect to see more cases, more hospitalizations, and unfortunately, we're likely to see additional deaths from the outbreak.
The swine flu finally hits home. The first flu death hits the United States as the first cases of the flu are reported here in our Chicago area. Our top story at 10 o'clock, how Chicago is coping with swine flu. Good evening, I'm Matt Whitney.
And I'm Nicole Marks. Tonight we begin with new developments in the swine flu story. The World Health Organization is now raising the alert level for swine flu to 5, which is the second highest designation. The HWO says a worldwide flu pandemic is imminent, and it says there is an urgent need for every nation to take emergency measures. And the first flu death in the U.S. is reported in Texas.
Here in Illinois, the first cases of probable swine flu are being reported. Tonight, authorities say there are a total of 9 probable cases that have been identified in Illinois. One of those cases, a 12-year-old Chicago girl, is hospitalized in good condition. 3 Chicago area schools are closed after students were diagnosed with suspected flu. 2 of those schools, both in the suburbs, were ordered closed this evening. They are Rotolo Middle School in Batavia and Marmion Academy, a Catholic high school in Aurora. Both are closed until Monday. News 6's Lauren Jiggets reports.
The playing fields at Marmion Academy in Aurora lie empty this evening. They also say that both schools will remain closed until Monday. Reporting from Batavia, I'm Lauren Jiggets.
Now here in Chicago, Kilmer Elementary School in Rogers Park was closed this morning after it was determined that a 12-year-old girl had a suspected case of flu. Tonight we're told the girl is recovering. Officials said they shut the school down not because the building was infected, but because they had an unusual number of absences at the school. Concerned parents flocked to the school for information. Another victim is a student at Loyola University. He described his symptoms by phone just a short time ago.
I had a very severe headache. My head was dizzy and pounding. I was very weak. I could hardly get out of bed. I had a high fever. I had body aches. I was just overly weak all the time.
Tonight, Michael Harrison is recovering at his parents' home in St. Louis. Cook County Board President Todd Stroger is holding a public forum on the swine flu. It caps off a day of news conferences which authorities released a lot of information about the local flu cases and what they're doing to protect the public. Here's News 6's Alex Perez.
Cook County runs the second largest public health system in the nation, and it will be to prevent it from spreading. Reporting from Daly College on the southwest side, Alex Perez.
There are special precautions tonight at Toyota Park in Bridgeview. That's where the soccer game between the Chicago Fire and popular Mexico's Club America is taking place. While the players are all healthy, it's safety first for everyone. Hand sanitizers are being distributed throughout the venue for spectators and players. At Navy Pier, plans for a Cinco de Mayo celebration have been canceled. The Mexican Civic Society of Illinois says hundreds of performers and vendors from Mexico will not be traveling here.
More information tonight on the international situation. Tonight, the World Health Organization has heightened the global flu alert level.
Certain actions now should be undertaken with increased urgency and at an accelerated pace.
The organization has raised the level of alert from 4 to 5 on a scale of 1 to 6. The United States has recorded its first death from swine flu. The victim is a 23-month-old boy who died in Houston, Texas. The doctors say there is an important point to remember.
This unfortunate child was not a native Houstonian. This child is a resident of Mexico who traveled to Brownsville, Texas to visit family.
Confirmed cases of the swine flu have now been reported in 11 states.
The swine flu is prompting a run on flu medications. 2 flu drugs, Tamiflu and Relenza, have been flying off store shelves. Experts say they cannot prevent swine flu. Those drugs are only effective after the onset of symptoms. Surgical face masks are also selling briskly around the Chicago area and all over the nation. Experts say the flu particles are so small they can penetrate the masks. They say the most effective protection is to wash your hands regularly.
In fact, you may have been wondering tonight about the accuracy of other things you may have heard about the swine flu. NBC News medical reporter Dr. Nancy Snyderman takes a critical look at some frequently asked questions.
Every weekday, Americans take 36 million trips on public transportation, and it's still safe for us to do that.
It's also okay to hold the poles or touch the armrests on any kind of public transportation. The most important thing is later, wash your hands, or if you want to, carry a pack of wipes with you and just wipe the dirt off.
Emergency rooms are reporting an increase in people coming in thinking that they have the flu. But you should only go to the hospital if you're experiencing flu symptoms, which include fever, cough, sore throat, and body aches. The sniffles don't count.
Despite the term swine flu, you cannot get this flu by eating pork, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you very much for my sandwich.
And enjoy it.
Some viruses and bacteria can live for 2 hours or longer on common surfaces like your office telephone.
So get in the habit of wiping down your phone every couple of days. And nobody wants to touch your hand after you've coughed into it, so use your elbow instead.
And nothing beats simple hand washing.
And that means washing your hands for a good 15 to 20 seconds, as long as it takes to sing happy birthday. And finally, if you're feeling sick, be smart and stay home. You'll be doing your coworkers a big favor. Dr. Nancy Snyderman, NBC News, New York.
Lots of good advice. Stay with News 6 and News6Chicago.com for coverage of the swine flu outbreak.
Still ahead here on News 6 at 10, an unexpected development in the search for Stacy Peterson.
She can't be found yet, and so we won't put all our efforts into doing our searches yet. We believe that eventually we'll find Stacy.
Why police are resuming their search for Stacy Peterson and where they're looking.
Then, a major police raid amid charges of contaminated drinking water in the suburbs.
And later, you have to see it to believe it. The amazing thing an iPhone can do now. Stay with us.
News 6 in high definition continues with Matt Whitney, Nicole Marks, weather with meteorologist Jake Heinrich, and sports with Brad Chapman. You're watching News 6 at 10.
The president held a primetime news conference tonight marking his 100th day in office. The president immediately addressed the swine flu, saying so far none of his advisors is recommending the closure of our border with Mexico. President Obama used the remainder of his press conference to address several matters, for the future of General Motors and Chrysler to troop surge in Afghanistan, and his position on the use of waterboarding to get information from terror suspects.
I believe that waterboarding was torture, and I think that whatever legal rationales were used, it was a mistake.
The president would not directly blame former President Bush for that policy, but he says torture is against the character and values of the United States and will no longer be tolerated.
In South Suburban Crestwood tonight, a new development in the story about contaminated drinking water. Federal agents raided government offices in Crestwood today. That raid comes 10 days after a Tribune investigation found officials knew residents were drinking water from a contaminated well for nearly 20 years, but never told residents. The city's mayor assures residents today that the well has been closed off and the drinking water is still safe.
Now to a developing story in West Suburban Downers Grove. A mother and her 2 children are missing tonight. Carolyn Bosney left her home this morning to drive her 2 children to school. She never returned. The children, 10-year-old Claire and 7-year-old George, never made it to school. If you have seen the Bosney family, you are please asked to call Downers Grove Police.
Still ahead here on News 6, an important development in the Stacy Peterson case. For the first time in months, police are searching for her, where they're looking and why. Jake? Rain is moving into our region right now. Hopefully we can get rid of some of this rain. I'll let you know coming up.